people for watching this podcast. Guess who this is? No. Yeah, it's Yakko Water. Or could it be Pinky? Or it might even be Carl finishing my croissant. Or it might be Raphael with a hot fudge marshmallow tuna fish and Doritos pizza. Or even Donatello trying to figure out how my Apple Watch works. The main thing we all have in common is that we are pretty smart, just like you, because we watch and listen to the Canned Air podcast. And one more thing. Narv!
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Canned Air, your tribute to pop culture. I am Jeremy Colley.
I'm Jack Doherty.
And I am Randy Hardenbrook.
And this week we're bringing you the coverage from our past weekend at the Fan Expo Cleveland show 2022. Damn, what a fun weekend we had, right?
Good show,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
I think
much.
all around we had a great time. So we're just going to be kind of walking you through our weekend a bit, telling you mostly about the convention, but we just want to kind of let you in on everything that we got to do this weekend because, again, it was such a fun weekend. So that's what we're going to be doing here today. But before we do that, don't forget to find us on Twitter at CannedAirPod and on Instagram at Canned_Air. And if you head to our website, CannedAirPodcast.com, a few different other ways you can support us. There is the merch tab right there in the main list of tabs there. And then in the upper upper left-hand corner, like where our social media clicks are, there's a Patreon button where you can click that, and for $5 to $10 a month, get access to a bunch of extra content that the normies aren't getting. I think it's a good trade-off for the money they give us.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Right?
They're definitely getting a lot there.
It's not like there's 2 or 3 things on there. There's hours. There's hours on there. A whole nother hour and a half that we're probably getting ready to record here in a few minutes after this recording. So
Absolutely, yeah.
bang for your buck right there. And Randy, what am I forgetting?
Check us out on evergreenpodcast.com. See us, all the other great shows, and show us some love.
All right, well, let's just get right into it. I don't think there's any need to sound the retro roundtable alarm this week, as this really isn't a retro. Again, we're reviewing Fan Expo Cleveland 2022. We were given press passes, and we got to go up there for the weekend. And this is the same con that was formerly Wizard World.
Right.
Rebranded. And I got to say, I was heartbroken to finally see the Wizard ship finally fully sink,
Kinda.
That
Just
sucked.
from the last experience, it was kind of inevitable, I
mean,
guess.
if you're looking
but
at
the
it
same...
like in the con nutshell, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, okay, take him out back and just shoot him. He's better off dead. But,
He's gone.
At the same time, like Wizard had been such a prominent presence, even before the cons, the magazines, Toy
yeah.
Fair, all that stuff.
So then it died with the magazine, came back as a convention, then died as a
Died
convention.
again. So, rest in peace, Wizard.
Will it stay dead? You don't see the body, so...
It's still I imagine if Elvis or Andy Kaufman or any of those people who are supposedly still alive when they say they're dead, that's what Fan Expo kind of is as Wizard World. It's like it's Elvis with a different costume on, but underneath the costume it's still Elvis, right? This con seemed like what Wizard was in the heyday of what we were seeing.
It did, definitely, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
With one notable exception, though, right?
What's that?
No Kato Kalin?
Yep.
That was one of the first things on my list. No Kato. That
bad.
was a presence that was... His missing presence was felt
It was, yeah.
hard.
Yeah,
and I didn't even realize it in the moment. It was after we came home. I felt like, man, something was off. And it was just the simple fact that he wasn't there. That stage over there, yeah. Okay, when you walked into the convention, where you get your tickets and then you have your tickets scanned or your passes or whatever. Before you walk into the actual convention, there's a big open area there with a stage and has rotating shows, every 30 minutes to an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is typically like, musicians or dancers or cosplayers or whatever it might be. And this is something that Wizard was doing for a long time too. And Kato Kalin was kind of the MC of the entire con.
Yep.
He would again,
He'd do trivia and
he kept engaged with the ever turning over audience in front of him all day. It was incredible. Like the amount, I can't summon that energy, and he's older than I am.
right.
You know what I mean? But the fact that he wasn't there, one, was definitely felt. And two, the fact that they didn't have anyone else doing that.
Right.
There's just some lowly schlumps standing on the stage doing their thing with five or six people standing around.
The people we heard in passing, I thought sounded good.
They did.
There was one, like, when we were walking, I think maybe we were leaving Friday. I can't remember, or we were just stepping out for a quick break, but there was a guitar player who I was really digging his music, and it really reminded me of like Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds kind of music. And there was a girl on the floor in front of the stage who had like some big kind of baton thing she was twirling around herself. Great big thing. And I just thought, all right, well, she must, she's using she's kind of like the fish that suctions up on the belly of a shark, just kind of feeding off the audience that was already there because this other guy. But not the case. Turns out she was part of that show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who would have known? But, I mean, we came through later, maybe when we were getting, like, shots from the upper balcony, like, looking down on the con. But she was on the stage with him then doing stuff. Like, when we walked around the side of the stage, there was, like a basket full of twirlers and batons and all kinds of stuff. So
it felt very much like a coffee shop performance. Like there wasn't like any hype man or anybody there, like kind of like leading you into it. It was just like, oh, somebody's up on stage playing.
Yeah. The TV next to the stage was the only MC there was. Just like, okay, like this is who's going to be on next. But so it's crazy how him missing from that equation, like it's just, you totally just walk by it. Like, you don't really care.
Then you look over, oh, look, they're playing that song. I know. Okay.
And I don't know. We've been following Kato on Instagram for some time, and it seems like he's doing something. Like, he's always in airports and every other post he's doing and stuff. Like, I don't know what he's doing now. I think he's hosting other events, but man, I really miss his presence. I got to say that.
Maybe it was just a paycheck that they didn't want to have to pay for.
I'm sure. Yeah. It's not like it was because of his performance, because he definitely drew a crowd.
Yeah.
Like, he had a crowd. He had our attention.
He did, many times, yeah. Especially once we realized who it was. Wait, that's Kato.
Yeah, but even after that, you know what I've been seeing him do so much on his Instagram is he's putting pictures of himself on the stand at the O.J. Simpson trial.
Does he?
Next to Johnny Depp on the stand.
Oh, my God.
Oh, jeez.
And it's like, who wore it better kind of thing. I'm like, come on, man. Like, when I wanted to talk to him, for a while, but then I was like, well, what am I going to talk to him about? It seems like the only thing to talk to him about would be the O.J. Simpson trial.
That's all you know him as.
And I thought, well, maybe that would be crass. But when he's posting shit like that on Instagram, I was like, well, maybe I should have just done it.
That's what made him famous.
He doesn't give a shit, really. But anyway, so that was, very noticeable. No Kato. Okay, so what else we got? What do we think overall of the con, though? The con itself was pretty damn cool.
I liked it. It was more artist-based goods, I think, versus Artist Alley with their people selling their comics. There wasn't a lot of comic booths, I think. There was one aisle, but usually there's a lot more. And like toy vendors, there was only, 3? It was very light.
There were, I would say, 4 to 5 toy vendors, but not all of them were top notch. The thing is, when you're... Okay, we've seen this in the Wizard... Even the good Wizard cons as of late, is that there isn't a strong toy presence because they keep fitting so many other different things in there. Mm-hmm. Like there was I remember one year they had a whole section of the floor that was dedicated to like Japanese claw machines and stuff like that, and the whole like anime Sailor Moon section kind of thing. I didn't see that here, but my point being is the floor is being divvied up amongst many more genres. It seems like as we go forward, leaving less room for a lot of different toy vendors. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, I think with that kind of thing happening, I felt there was more there than I expected. I'll say that. I mean, I didn't buy anything. There wasn't enough there to entice me to buy something.
Right.
But I wasn't even expecting what we saw as far as the amount of toys to be on the floor.
I think some of it has to do with their with their what the toy vendors would have to pay to get a table and what they actually sell.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know about Fan Expo with Wizard World. It was close to $1,000 just to have a booth,
right.
You know? So I can't imagine what a vendor who's actually, you know, not taking up just like an 8-foot table, but, you know, a whole big cubic square that he or she has to sell stuff within. It's probably more expensive.
So it probably works better to have like homemade custom type things that you can sell for a higher dollar because it's homemade custom.
If you can get people to buy it, though, I mean, that's just it. I mean, a toy vendor doesn't really have to sell his wares; they just kind of sell themselves.
Right.
You know, they're things that people already know. When you're, you know, somebody who's making fucking bleach bottle pigs or whatever it is, like, you know, you got to do some coaxing to sell your product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to really talk up. You got to really do your work. But I know what you mean because I noticed that too. There were a few comics, but it was mainly like people who were doing like canvas, like 11 by 17 prints of their artwork. And stuff.
Yeah. There was not very many
No.
boxes of comics at all. I think I saw one place. I think that's where you got yours from.
I think so. It was just like a little front. He didn't have much. It was just like 3-4 boxes up front of like $3 stuff, and then high dollar stuff behind his table. But I was looking at some of the footage we took, and while the camera's panning around the aisles, I didn't notice while we were there, but I saw in the video we caught Travis Horseman of Amiculus. He was there.
Was he? I didn't even see him.
I didn't either until we got home and I
Holy
looked at the
crap.
videos. Now, we did see Ted Sakura, but we never ended up coming back around to his table, which wasn't intentional, just a natural flow of the con. I've always noticed that whenever we go to a con, like you find yourself drifting up and down the same 2 or 3 aisles.
Yeah.
Like you have to really pay attention to where you've been, otherwise you will never go.
Yeah, because I know for a fact we passed him the one time, and then thinking back, I don't think I ever went that route again the rest of the time.
I can now, just thinking about it, think of sections of the con I never saw, not intentionally, but just because of the natural flow of people and where your attention's being drawn just kind of keeps you from certain areas. We never went to the, you know where we ate our lunch?
Yes.
If we were standing at the booth and went to our right, that's going south, I think. We never went up that aisle there.
No, we didn't. Yeah, you're right. And we never really went back into if you're standing at the front of the convention looking down to the back right, we kind of did because there was that stage, but in between there wasn't a lot there. It was a lot of empty area.
Yeah, I think
like over by the video game area that the U.S. Army or whatever put on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was not much over there.
I tell you what, man, I got my stomach turned a little bit every time we walked past that Army booth. It pissed me off, man. It really did. Because I remember when I was young how relentless recruiters were with me getting towards senior year. Mm-hmm. And here it is. Was it the Army? Was it in fact the Army, or was it like the Marines or something? I think it was the Army.
I think it was the Army.
Yeah.
And they had a whole big section of the con where they had nothing but tables with video games, luring families into
first-person shooters.
Yes. Play their first-person shooter Call of Duty kind of games.
This is how the battle is today, kids.
And then talk to them about joining the Army. And I just thought, man, that's some sick shit. That's a little sick.
Rope them in.
It's like
if
free
you
candy.
Love this Call of Duty
of
game, you'll love giving me your soul and paying for years of psychiatric help.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not that there's anything wrong with people who want to defend their country. There's not. Defend our country. But Christ, man, when you're at a comic convention preying on little kids, like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's like a pedophile hanging at the candy store.
Well, if you're like this, I got something at home that tastes even better. Yeah.
And of course, they had the good old State Farm, T-Mobile, and what else was there? There was something else there that was just like, come on.
People who are just getting paid to sit around.
That's exactly what they're doing. At least T-Mobile had traffic a little bit just because it's a phone company. But
yeah, doesn't matter where you are. Somebody needs a phone case or a charger.
Serious,
right?
Yeah.
Now, I got a question for you guys, because prior to this con, the only two Wizard experiences I had was one when I saw you guys, your panel before I was part of the show, and then that last year that I was part of the show, and both of those were at Columbus. Is this kind of one of the bigger shows that Wizard shows you guys have been to or bigger cons? I mean, it seemed like there was a lot more people there at this one than were at the two I was at.
I would say this is one of the bigger ones.
I think so.
I mean, typically when you go to like a celebrity meet and greet thing, it's only like on a back wall. This had a lot of people.
There was a lot of,
Now, mind you, some didn't show up. Some were only there for one day, but there was like a great big rectangle, like back end of the convention center was squared off. So I don't think I'd ever seen so many celeb guests. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There was a lot of them. And it's just, I don't know why, but when they put the red carpet down in the aisles, or any carpet for that matter, it makes such a difference for me. Like
I noticed that right away as soon as you walked in, that we were walking down that felty red carpet.
Now, there was a year at Wizard, like probably the best year, again, with that mechanical bowl that year, remember? Mm-hmm. That's been the best one, I think, so far. But that carpet almost felt cushy. It was almost like cushion under your foot.
Yeah.
This one didn't have that. But, I mean, I'm nitpicking. It's not like a big deal or anything.
At least it stayed flat and didn't bunch up anywhere and cause tripping.
Friday night was more enjoyable than Saturday, but that's to be expected because everybody goes on Saturday.
Right,
so there was just so many people, and getting shots was very difficult. But
at the same time, Saturday was a little bit better than Friday with the cosplay because there was so many good cosplays Saturday versus Friday.
It was so funny because we were like, okay, we're here to get pictures of cosplayers and stuff, so let's wander the floor and find cosplayers. And then all at once, they announced this cosplayer like fashion
contest.
Show thing, contest.
Yeah.
And every single cosplayer goes and gets in this line. So like there's now no cosplayers on the floor.
That was on Friday, wasn't it?
No, that was Saturday.
No, Saturday.
Was that? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was like first thing. That's right.
Right around where the Wookiees were standing.
Yeah. Right near the 501st.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a really cool picture of those Wookiees. And it's cool because like they were right next to the 501st booth. And as I'm taking a picture of him, a guy dressed as a Rebel fighter pilot walks in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. So it's three Wookiees with this Rebel pilot guy walking in front of them. And they're so tall, so my angle's pointed up. And the background is just like the interiors of the convention center, which is almost painted the exact same like whitish gray as like the inside of a Star Destroyer or something. And then you can see like the light coming in from the convention center, like the glass fronts, you know, from a floor above us. Mm-hmm. So it almost looks like the four of them are standing like in an underground bunker and it's like shutting or something. I'm just kind of running away with it, but I just thought, man, like even the background looks Star Wars in this picture. I was happy with it.
Props to those guys, because I would be so scared walking around in stilts in that big costume that I would either trip and fall or like step on somebody.
They were impressive. Yeah, one of them seemed like he was just like a tall dude, but the other two were definitely in some kind of stilt thing.
Yeah, because they were easy 8 foot.
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy.
Tall. Gosh.
And the one that was the tallest, I crossed paths with him a few times, and both times I got my phone way up in the air and like right in his face, and he just kind of walked by. But the third time when he saw me do it, he finally turned to the camera, and
that's when he said something.
He just looked into it and went, "Rugh."
Yeah, that was awesome.
Kind of like Cowardly Lion-ish. But...
Or maybe they think that if they release it, Japanese, then I don't know. If they don't.
Then I got a video of the three Wookiees all together taking a photo with this woman in a horrible Ahsoka
Yes.
costume.
She have horns?
Yeah.
I was trying to look at it multiple times. I'm like, what has she got going on her headgear?
I don't know. She looked a little too happy to be wearing it, though. Anyway, one of those Wookiees, while they're posing for the camera, starts like... and stuff, and it sounded so good. Mm-hmm. The video's on the Instagram, and if you're watching the video version of this on YouTube, I'm going to pause right here so you can see it.
That's fingers. That's what fingers.
But yeah, Wookiees that sound like they should. It wasn't just some dude. There had to have been something going on there.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think it was someone actually saying something. I think he had some kind of
like an
audio track
box
there.
or something. Yeah.
That's like the Stormtroopers, the 501st. They sound just like they're off the movie.
Yeah.
But it's just that radio voice that they have that's piped through their helmets.
Said audio box. So a speaker, I guess that's what I was referring to.
We're getting technical now.
The soundy boxy. All right. I might as well just start touching on the cosplay. We've already talked about the Wookiees. How about the Ghostbusters? We got to check out in on the Cleveland branch of the Ghostbusters.
They were super cool as hell.
They were.
You know how every city who has a Ghostbuster branch has their own logo?
Yeah.
Theirs is the only one that doesn't have the ghost in it.
Theirs was awesome. I noticed that when we were talking to him, I saw the patch, and then later on when we were talking to him again, they showed you the patch.
Yeah, and they said it was like I think he called it the Guardian. Instead of a ghost, it's the Guardian is in the patch. And maybe that's just some Ghostbuster shit I don't know about, the Guardian, but what I think it is a Cleveland thing. Because I think there's a park just a few blocks south of the convention center that has these Guardian statue thing. I could be way wrong.
Well, I know the new baseball name is the Guardians. It's not the Indians anymore.
Is it the Guardians?
Yeah. No more Indians.
Wow, they named the team after the Ghostbuster squad. That's awesome.
I mean, I know they changed the name. Was that it though?
Yeah.
Man, all right.
Yeah, because I remember everyone was talking about the Guardians in Cleveland, and all I like to think of is of the galaxy. That's all that comes to my mind when I hear Guardians.
But they were fun to talk to. And I got to interview a couple of them, father and daughter duo, who I don't know if they're the ones who actually orchestrate the whole thing or if they're just a couple members. But we'll just cut over to the interview I had with them right here. We're here at Fan Expo 2022, and I stopped by to check out the Ghostbusters. What are your guys' names?
My name is Laurel Gosnell.
One more time.
Laurel Gosnell.
I'm her dad, Jeff.
It's nice to meet both of you. I'm Jeremy. So can you tell us about your guys' chapter of the Ghostbusters? What do you guys do on a typical Ghostbusting day?
We do anything that we can shoehorn that Ghostbusters is even tangentially related to. We'll show up at events, and we like for this one, we're trying to raise money for the Animal Protective League of Cleveland and Ronald McDonald House. So we came out here, so we're doing posing and for pictures and stuff, and you can try on our equipment and stuff.
We make kids happy.
Yeah.
And that's important to do, isn't it? It's funny. I shouldn't say so many, but I've seen other Ghostbuster chapters, and they all seem very aimed toward helping the community.
Well, that's kind of right in the DNA.
Yeah.
This all comes from Sony Ghost Corps, and they're very, very liberal about letting us use the logos and things like that.
Which is very
cool.
cool.
As long as we really try to have a charitable aspect to it. So.
Sure. Now, are you one of the chapters that has your own patch, your own design patch?
Actually, and I'm not wearing one of my things, but I'm actually very proud of our logo. Maybe we can get a shot of it later.
I would love to.
We're one of the few that actually don't have a ghost in ours.
Really?
We have the Guardians in ours. So we have the ghost. We have the Hope Memorial Bridge as part of ours.
We're hoping to make the Hope Memorial Bridge the Empire State Building of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh, I see where you're going now.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
So how long have you been a part of this Ghostbuster chapter?
I've been doing it since I was 7. I'm 12 now, so that's 5 years.
Very good, very good. And you must love it.
Yes, I do.
And making your father proud.
She lets me tag along.
So can you tell me about your packs a little bit here?
Well,
This is the cool side.
yes. We just got these at a normal Spirit Halloween store.
Okay.
So, but we attached these frames to it.
Oh, yeah.
Way more comfortable. Some of the Cleveland other Ghostbusters, they've ordered theirs online or they've made them. Most of them have made them. On the table, we have different ones. We usually make them at home.
Oh, okay. I'll have to jump over there and take a look at those. Now, another thing. The cars. Can you tell us about the cars at all?
Well, our fearless leader, Steven, this is his car. He actually drives to work. He works for NASA, so you'll see this in the NASA Glen parking lot a lot.
Really?
Yeah. So I hear stories all over, people spotting this car all over Cleveland. They all tell me about it. Oh, I saw your car.
It's so funny.
I would love to take credit for it, but it's not mine.
On I-40, I saw an Ecto-1.
And what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I have a vanity license plate for my car. That's about the best I can brag up about it.
Drives me to
It's
school.
got the logo,
right?
It's got the logo in the front and Ecto 7H in back.
So you're the coolest in your class then?
Well,
If you're being driven to school in an Ecto, come on. Yeah. You don't need their validation. You already know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for taking a few minutes to talk to me. It's really been a pleasure to talk with you, get to know what you're about, and check out your awesome gear. Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, there you go. Look at the badge. Look at what they're doing. Their cars. What is it about the PT Cruiser? It's just an
I was thinking the exact same thing. I have no idea if
automatic
it's just that
go-to if
easy
you're
to
wanting-
customize or.
Yeah, I mean it works. I guess it's just because the way the back is shaped makes room for the packs to all be on that roller rack. Maybe.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
got the
know.
big tailgate trunk that lifts up. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's probably easy getting it in convention centers and stuff too, with all the tight tolerances and stuff.
That's true. You get less room. You can get more ectos in one area versus one car.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know, but
It made sense in my head.
they also had one of the Ghostbuster traps on like the RC car,
RC one,
like
yeah.
from Afterlife. So that was really cool.
I was really upset to see that it didn't pop open yet, but she was working on that or getting ready to put that mod into it.
Well, I mean, those traps typically that you get aren't very durable. They're not built sturdy, you know.
No, we had a long talk about that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. So, you know, it's going to take a lot of ingenuity that I know I wouldn't have. So, you know, it'll take some, especially, you know, she said she had seen another one of the Ghostbusters we had talked to about this trap. She had said she had seen somebody who had made one of these traps on wheels, but it actually opened up and like fog came out of it and the green light. And I thought,
oh, nice.
How are you putting a fog machine on this thing?
Unless it was dry ice or something in there.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I don't know if that. You think that would put off enough fog though?
if it was
And don't you have
closed,
to like pour water onto dry ice to make it?
yeah, it's got
to
to have
that?
water in it. So I have no idea. But a fog machine, I wouldn't think that'd be. It's just a compact area to pump fog out like that to be able to for it to be like that.
If you kept it closed and pumped it full of fog, and then after it starts seeping out the seams, then opened it up, maybe it would
green lasers shooting out too. So.
You get one. You get one shot and you're done.
right.
Something really funny during that, and I don't know, you could probably see it on the footage, and Jeremy, I don't know if you were aware of this, but when Jack was filming you, I was trying to stand basically to divert people from walking in the middle. I was originally standing on the left side, and people started like walking the other way and getting past me, so I'm like, okay, fuck it. I switched over to the other side, and sure enough, people started walking on the other side. I was like, come on, guys.
It's unavoidable.
yeah.
It's really unavoidable.
But Jack was cracking up because I was like bouncing back and forth between sides trying to keep
it's
people
funny
from walking
'cause
in shot.
Right before he got here, he had sent me a link to the footage he had gotten, and I was watching it before he got here, and I was watching the footage of the Ghostbuster interview. And, okay, so Jack is trained on me and the father and daughter, and then as I start talking about the backpack, then Jack zooms in on the backpack. And then as I talk about the car, he's showing the car. Well, when it then cuts back over to me and the Ghostbusters, it's at a different angle, and behind the Ghostbusters,
so perfect. Is Randy standing there,
all like suave and debonair. Shit.
Yeah, that worked out so good when I panned back from the car that you guys were all facing me. So I was like, well, this worked out perfect. So I didn't have to come back around.
Yeah, it did work out, but it was just funny how Randy was just standing all nonchalantly back there.
Yeah, I was cracking up when I was
Don't know what to
filming
do
it.
with my hands.
What other cosplay stood out to you guys this weekend?
My favorite one, and I don't know that Jack saw it, I think I showed him a picture of it after, is just as we were getting ready to leave at the end, they had a guy in like a full-on, I don't know if it seemed like a velociraptor, but it was bigger than a typical velociraptor, walking at the entrance. So I went over and, this thing was big. I mean, it was probably every bit of 14 feet long, nose to tail.
Yeah, I saw the pictures of that. That thing was crazy.
It looks cool.
Dumping a human.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, and I think I made the comment to Jeremy at the time, was it was so big and bulky and as tight as those aisles were and as many people were, I almost wanted to stick around to see how many mountains of Funko Pops got knocked over. But
oh shit. I can't imagine they took that full apparatus like fully into the con. I can't.
They would have been stupid
Walking
too.
straight down the aisle.
Think of how many people you would have irritated. One, two, the amount of shit you would have knocked over with that tail.
Well, just as I was finishing up, he like turned and there was a handler or something there with him, like a couple people trying to keep people back, and the tail like swung around and smacked this guy literally like right along the side of the face. Like you heard like a
Wow.
I would have hit the floor screaming. Ah!
I wish I could have seen that. Oh man. What else? There was a cool Spaceballs crew.
Oh, yeah.
All four
We
of
saw
them.
a couple Lone Star and Barfs over the weekend, but Saturday we saw like a whole entourage of Lone Star, Barf, Dark Helmet.
That's right. There was Helmet.
Spaceballs crew member, like just one of the guys in white.
Yeah, Vespa and Dot.
And then Dot.
Right.
Yeah. There wasn't a Vespa. There was
Wasn't there Vespa?
Not that I saw.
I thought she was there with us at the 4 when we first walked in and got that picture.
If she was,
No,
she was
maybe it
off
was
doing
just-
something else because I didn't get her in the group picture I took.
Now that I think
I don't
about it,
remember
yeah.
seeing her.
No.
The Macho Mandalorian was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Did we get any footage of that? Did you guys? I didn't.
No.
I didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, he looked cool. The Macho Mandalorian.
I don't think he ever had. Well, no, I don't think he did. He have a helmet? He had a helmet, but he never
yeah.
had it on.
He had a
But I-
helmet. I never saw him without it. He had like a backpack that was all like bubbly looking.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Macho Man Randy Savage's paint on the Mandalorian for the
Yep.
most
Yeah.
part. He looked awesome.
And then there's also the Green Lantern Mandalorian too.
I didn't
That's
see
pretty
that.
sweet.
I
I'll have
didn't
to
see it
find a
either.
picture of that. I don't think I got a picture of him, but I've seen one from the weekend, and it was pretty sweet because his backpack was like the construct from the Ring, and then it was like I think it was like clear, but otherwise he was dressed up like a Mandalorian in Green Lantern colors. It was pretty
That's sweet. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that.
It's always refreshing to see like different takes on cosplays. Like you see the typical like Harley Quinn and Joker, like the normal kind of con fare. But it was fun to see. I think there was like a Inspector Gadget was cool that we saw. The Macho Mandalorian, the space. It's just cool to see like other
I forgot about the
properties.
Inspector Gadget.
neat. Yeah, that's right. Just saw him real quick.
He was walking in as we were walking out, I
Yeah.
think.
But on the flip side of this, the flip side of that, there's always that one cosplayer that I think just does it for attention. And there was kind of a running joke with the three of us for the 2 days with the guy that was dressed up as the Witcher, like strutting around.
Oh, yeah.
He
God's
was dressed like
gift
that
to
both,
women.
yeah, both days too in the after party. It's just you could tell he was enjoying being the center of attention.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think Jeremy was joking about him sleeping in like the gutter or something overnight.
But he was trash that night we went to that after party.
Yes,
he
he
was
was.
ripped when we got there.
So there was a after party that happened at the Haunted House restaurant,
Yes.
which is like east of downtown. And essentially it's just a restaurant bar with a horror theme. They play horror movies on TVs in there, and there's all kinds of, like Spirit Halloween stand-up kind of
Yeah.
shit in
Kinda, there was a
and-
Very
Chucky in
much.
there, some other things.
Yeah.
It was like
haunted
Applebee's,
house
but with like haunted house stuff.
Yeah.
I would call that fair. Yeah. But they had we went over there at what 10:30, 11, something like that.
It was late.
And they were doing a cosplay contest. And I mean, it happened so fast. I don't even know how it happened because there was a line of people in this contest that wrapped halfway around the bar. But then the contest itself was over in mere minutes.
Yeah.
Literally minutes. But
I want to say that they announced less names than what I remember standing in front of us in line, it seemed like, too.
yeah, maybe they just chose from the top first five. I don't know. But
Yours was terrible. You're not coming up here.
no, the only reason I was saying that shit about him being in the gutter was because you guys were both like, oh, I feel so bad for him. He didn't win. And I'm like, what? He already has won. Like, he's the dude for the next 2 or 3 days, dressed up as Witcher. Like, and I think I just made a joke that, he was so upset about not winning. He just cried himself to sleep in the gutter or something.
I didn't really feel bad, but I was surprised he didn't.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
was-
it was a really good cosplay. I mean, it was.
I think
It
the
was
best
better
part
than
of
the one
him
that
was
won.
that he was over 6 foot tall, so he stood out in front of everybody. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. And his blonde locks.
Yeah.
That place was all right. I don't know. That place reminded me of my age.
Exactly.
Like,
Look at those old dudes standing over there.
yeah, about 10 years ago.
Listening to current hip hop.
We're still down with the kids, right? But it was all right. It was cool enough, I guess, to see. I mean, I almost dipped out. I was almost to the point of telling you guys, like, yeah, just go. I'm just going to chill in the hotel. But I was like, no, better go. You know, something cool could happen. And
if you would have been like, I'd been like, nah, all right, that's fine. Because I wasn't getting to actually to the point where we were going to go. I was like, I don't know if this is going to be even worth it. Luckily, we knew people that were there. That was probably the highlight.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it was a saving grace. But now you're making me wish I would have said that. But
I'm not mad we went.
No, I'm not either. But
my wallet was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, those beers weren't cheap, were they? At least we got some free Crown Royal shots out of it.
There you go.
Yeah.
And plastic cups, beer in plastic cups too. Guinness in a plastic cup. Gosh.
My
sacrilege.
Absolute favorite cosplay this weekend. You already know who I'm going to say. Drunk Jeffrey.
Yep.
Somebody acquired the outfit for Jeffrey the Giraffe, the last incarnation of him from when Toys R Us closed, you know? And it's the actual Toys R Us costume that they would wear at store openings or events or whatever. But he has put an earring on it. He has like a magnetic cigarette hanging out of his mouth. One of the eyes is like half shut on one side. The other eye's bloodshot. He's wearing underwear, like tidy white underwear.
Tidies.
Yeah.
And what I thought after looking at the footage, remember I told you it looked like he had drawn like hair coming out of his butt
yeah,
crack?
it was a tramp stamp on his
It was a
back.
tramp stamp. It was so fucking funny, but and the guy inside was playing it up well. I don't know how well it was catering toward younger audiences.
No, not at all.
Because when you look at him, that's what it's going to draw in, you know. But I got some awesome footage of him, which is on Instagram, and I'll just put it in right here.
Was this the red carpet? Here we go. How's this for your red carpet? How's this for your red carpet?
Oh my god.
That's the red carpet right here. Yeah. Put online shopping, all of you. All right? You're ruining lives. Say it with me. Jeff Bezos is a Turk. Jeff, say it with me. You buy on Amazon? Oh boy. Get your photos. Listen, that doesn't even begin. I got 3 ex-wives.
Used to take me there on my birthday.
You used to go there on your birthday?
Yeah.
What happened?
I think Amazon took it down.
Amazon ruined it. Jeff Bezos ruined a lot. I bet you used to go to libraries too.
Those are still good.
Those are still a thing. Yeah, but you know what? No one goes to them. Jeff Bezos started with the books, and now he's going for all of us. Yeah. Soon this is just going to be one big Amazon convention. And you can't go until you write Jeff Bezos a check. How does that feel? So what are you going to do? You're never going to pick up smoking. That's lesson number 1, okay? You're never going to grow up. And you're going to quit buying stuff online, all right? Right there.
I still have the rest of them.
Okay. It's so hard to get to these
They
kids.
opened a new Toys R Us somewhere.
Think about it. Think about it. All right. Someone put my tail in my tail hole.
But anyway, getting back to what was funny about the footage I just got there was, okay, so he's talking to this kid. This kid, he's like, the guy who's playing Drunk Jeffrey is going to walk onto the red carpet area where the cosplay had been happening and pretend like he was taking a dump on it. So he pulls down his tighty-whities and bends over, and about the time he's starting to do all this kid walks up. How old would you say? Were you there?
Yeah, he was probably, 10?
12?
Yeah.
And he walks up and says loudly to him, "I'm sorry about the loss of your store." Which I thought, oh, that's, what a sweet kid, Okay, so I've watched the video a few times, and I think I captured the moment that this guy realized, okay, maybe I need to think about what I'm saying, because kids are being drawn to this. Because he started, if you listen to it, he starts going in about, oh, you think my store's closing is bad. He goes, well, I got 3 ex-wives, and like he was going to start going into that kind of a bit. But he cuts himself off quick when the kid starts saying, I used to go there on my birthday. And then he I mean, he starts talking to him about, oh, you went on your birthday. Well, what happened? Why'd you quit coming? Oh, because of Amazon. And then he goes on a whole Amazon rant. I think I caught the moment he learned that he had to kind of filter what he's saying with who he's saying it to. Because it seemed like the ex-wife stopped hard and quick.
Yeah.
But he was holding a little sign that said toys for sale. And on the back side, it said, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Drunk Jeffrey. Can't find him anywhere on Instagram.
You found his Twitter, though, didn't you?
Found him on Twitter, but it doesn't look like he's posted on there in like 2 years. But the pictures are hilarious. Like his profile pic is him standing in this big fucking mascot outfit, waist deep in a pool, surrounded by women in bikinis.
I wonder if he's got multiple of that suit, or it held up okay after being in a pool.
I don't know. I'm guessing he's probably just wearing like yellow sweatpants, because like when I've seen costumes of the actual guy, like I think his legs were just yellow. I think the actual costume's legs actually had stars on them too. So maybe he's just replacing the sweatpants, but I don't know. Maybe chlorine doesn't hurt a big
Faux
mascot. Faux fur, right.
So funny. He was walking around with a VHS of The Land Before Time.
I thought it was a Great Outdoors.
No, it was The Land Before Time, because he was like, you can't get this anywhere. You can't get this online.
Oh, he was by far my favorite cosplay. Because the second I saw him, I was drawn to him like a fucking moth to the flame, man. Yep. I was on it. Like, I didn't even remember what I was looking at, what I was doing. I just beelined it to him, and I got a few different videos of him, lots of pictures. That was my favorite cosplay, though, by far. Just looking at what Jeffrey has become, lost in his depression since the toy store has gone away.
We could have gone down that same path, but we didn't.
The cautionary tale of Jeffrey.
All right. Anything else on cosplay? Anyone else we want to mention? There was a woman dressed as Queen Amidala that I got a picture of. She was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool too. Yeah. I know there's that Warhammer guy that was standing out in the front that was about 7 foot tall. He was pretty cool. That was a pretty big, bulky costume.
What about, that we walked past this table that was selling like foam swords and guns and stuff, and they had a Thanos mask sitting on this table.
The horrible spirit Halloween.
Oh, it was a Thanos horrible mask. And I just kept thinking, this is what happened to Thanos' head after it got cut off in Endgame. Because it looked like a head just rotting on a table.
Maybe if it was on a head, it might have looked a little better, but other than that, it was just this deflated, mashed looking purple face.
What else was there? There was a pretty cool Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch there, but I didn't get a great picture of them. I did get some pictures though, but
there's a lot of Scarlet Witches this time. I think she's taken over Harley Quinn's, which thank God that's coming around.
I've been trying for years to put together the Marvel Illuminati on my shelf over here. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I've got 3 of the 6 or 7 characters I need, without thinking too hard about it now. One I don't have is Doctor Strange. And I don't want like a Benedict Cumberbatch Doctor Strange. I want like the old Alex Ross looking Doctor Strange to put up there, because that's how the rest of them look. And I have never found one. I found one at this con. I was like, there he is. That's the one I need. $50.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
just because that fucking movie's coming out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's like the one figure, the new Marvel Legends. I can't remember what he's called. The Guardian Strange or something. What is it called?
Oh, he's like in red and black.
Yeah, his hair's real slicked back.
Yeah,
and he's got prominent white stripes on the side. That thing was like what, $50 or $60 too.
He was $50 as well. Yeah, I wanted him too, but
I didn't want to pay that. I'll wait from Hasbro to get it for $35. So
was that the vendor that I was talking about the DVDs on?
Yes.
So same vendor. I noticed he was selling like complete they looked like they were rip-offs, but or like reprints or whatever, but like complete cartoon series. And one of the ones they had was Captain Planet, which I've been telling my kids about just because it was fun, and you cannot find the complete series anymore.
Yeah.
So I was talking to him about it, and it was like a 7 or 8 disc set, and he's like, well, let me tell you. So you got $20 for the first CD, and it's $5 for every DVD after that. So I'm like, that's like what, $90 for that one? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm not. No, And it was like, it looked like he took like the cover, like in an inkjet printer, printed it off and cut it and like wrapped it.
Oh,
like, it
yeah.
was not, they were not good copies.
Yeah, I mean, you'll find those people at every con. But there's a part of me, well, I mean, not that guy, that $90 for the Captain America or Captain Planet run.
No.
Even the people who were putting that shit out wouldn't charge you anything close to that. You know what I mean? You know, at the same time, like before Netflix and like Disney Plus had the Spider-Man series, like the only place to find it really
Those same vendors.
was those same kind of vendors. The Japanese Spider-Man show, that's the only place I've ever really seen it. Of course,
Other
I
than
haven't
clips
looked.
on YouTube, that was
Right.
yeah, that's the only place.
So yeah, I mean, there are those people that do, I think, charge. I mean, they're always expensive to some extent, but $90 for Captain Planet, fucking no way. And you know that you're not getting like high definition with those either. They're like
Right.
literally going to be like VHS recordings off of television
on DVD,
that
yeah.
have been just transferred to DVD.
Like, I can get the out-of-print Shout Factory Captain Planet for complete series for that amount. Like, if I'm going to drop that, I'm going to get the actual thing that's got higher def.
I want the Drew Carey show in its entirety badly, but it's not made. And I had been telling Ryan about it, and he found it on some kind of website where you can like pirate movies and shit, you know. And he put it all in Plex so I could watch it. But, you know, each one, like one of them will say like Fox 28 in the bottom corner or something. And, you know, they're just pieced together recordings that people have recorded around the world, you know. I'm looking for this episode. Can you get it for me? Does anyone have it, you know? So, better than nothing.
Speaking of old DVDs, I came across the Blu-ray of Tripping the Rift that I have at home.
Tripping
wow.
the Rift. What's that?
We had talked about that a couple episodes ago. It was a off-color
longer than that
sci-fi
ago.
CG TV series.
Sounds familiar.
I think I showed you a picture because I think I was the one that brought it up. At the,
Yeah, you had brought it up,
Yeah.
but I'll have to bring that over.
Yeah, Jeremy will like that.
Yeah, I don't recall. But anything else before we move on? All right. Well, let's just, I guess, get over to the couple interviews I was able to snag. First, with talking to Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario. And, damn. The best part of this wasn't even talking to him.
No, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was cool to talk to him. So very cool. But what happened right before it was just made my day. Okay, so what happens when we go to these cons, like covering them, like when we're going as Fan Expo Press, you know, you submit an application, you get approved, and then you're told, well, you'll be able to possibly get interviews with these people if they're available at the time. So we had a list of people. You know, you always choose way more than you know you'll get. It's kind of like when we send out emails to do this show. We'll send out like 5 to 8 emails and maybe get a response back. So, you know, we choose a lot of different names, hoping to get a couple. And that's, you know, that's typically what we get is 1 to 2. And then after you choose who you want, you go, you get your press passes, and then you tell Jerry, the guy who's at the press badge handout booth there, you know, that you're wanting to do interviews. He tells you a time to come back to the booth, and then he leads you and all the other press people into the celebrity area, and then he's the one who will then hand you off to a celebrity for a quick interview. I was feeling a bit Randy, no pun intended, Randy. You know, the Game Fix guys, they had 2 or 3 years ago at a Wizard Con just walked straight up to him, asked for an interview, and just got it. And
Yeah,
a
he
good
had
time.
nobody was at the table, so they
Right.
thought, sure, let's run over here real quick.
And that's the same thing that was happening here. There was no one at his table. And, you know, Jerry was out there helping people get where they need to be, but he was occupied with other people, getting them their interviews. And I just thought, I'm just going to go try to get it on my own.
Well,
So
in your defense, too, there was like at least 30 other people there. It wasn't just like us and somebody else.
I wouldn't say 30, but there was probably, what, 10 to 15?
10 to 15, yeah.
I would say enough to keep him occupied.
It was a hell of an entourage for Jerry, that's for sure.
He was leading the parade through that con, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
But so I started walking toward Charles, and his handler quick jutted over into my line of sight, waving her arm, being like, hello, yes, over here, yes, can I help you? I'm like, oh, Christ. I'm like, yes, I just wondered if I could snag a quick interview with Charles, for our show. I'm doing press for Fan Expo. Well, are you doing it like for them, or are you doing it like through them for your show, or what is it? And I said, yeah, I'm doing it for them. And I held up my lanyard because it says Fan Expo 2022 press.
Yeah.
It says it right there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I held it up, and she goes, I can read your badge.
Yeah.
I see your badge.
So
fucking snide bitch. And I said, well, yeah, we're here for Fan Expo. They gave us the press passes, but yeah, the coverage is going on our show. Oh, well, we can't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
So I just thought, okay, I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm not even going to do it if Jerry wants to, because I'll feel stupid like I went and just told Daddy on someone. Like, Daddy, she pushed me in the sand. She pushed me in the sand, but it just so happened that Jerry was over there talking then shortly after to her and Charles, and he came back over and said, okay, who wants the Charles interview? And so I raised my hand.
We were first and closest, so.
First ones and closest. So he shot us into the pin. He walked us over there. And that woman's face, oh my God. She saw me coming up behind with him, and oh my God, I didn't realize you were actually with it. And I just sat there and I was like,
I told you.
Yeah. I fucking told you. But I didn't say that because Jerry was there. But
I was trying so hard not to have a Cheshire grin that whole time standing there behind.
She was just getting red in the face a little bit and trying to play it down. And, I was trying to be like, oh, it's no big deal. But I was just eating every bead of sweat off her brow. Like, oh, it was awesome. It was so awesome. But then the quick follow-up moment for me was then talking to Mario. So let me just cut over to my, it was only a few minutes, right?
It was like 4 minutes.
We don't get full conversations with these people. So let me cut over to my quick interview with Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario. We're here at Fan Expo Cleveland 2022, and I'm standing here with the voice of Mario himself, Charles Martinet. Charles, it's amazing to be here in front of you, man.
Thank you very much. Hello to all my friends in Cleveland. It's me, Super Mario, your number one.
That never gets old, man. That never gets old. Well, I know the story of how you became Mario, but for the people who don't, I was wondering if you could walk us through this a little bit, how Mario was originally you crashing an audition.
Yes, I was sitting on the beach doing what actors do, waiting for the phone to ring. Actually, back then it was pagers. This was 31 years ago. And my pager went off. It was my friend. I thought, we're going to go have dinner. But it was, instead he said, you got to go crash this audition. I said, I would never crash an audition. I'm a professional actor. Where should I go? He told me the address, and I got off the beach and I went there. And I was walking in the door as the cameraman and the producer were walking out, and I recognized the Sony Betacam bag, and I said, can I read for this? And the guy goes, all right, come inside, we'll set the camera back up. You're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn, named Mario, for this company called Nintendo. Never heard of Mario, never heard of Nintendo. So we're going to have this real-time animation system, so you can have these things glued to your face, and when you move your face, that's going to roll these little roller balls, and that's going to make things. Anyway, it's a real-time animation system. We have no idea if it's going to work or not. If it doesn't work, you still got to talk to people all day. I'm not going to pay you to drink coffee all day. So make up a voice, make up a video game, make up anything you want. Start talking, and when you run out of things to say, that's your audition. And I thought to myself, Italian plumber from Brooklyn, Get out of my face, I'm working here. Or, what do you want from me? I'm out of this thing. I thought, I don't want to do that because there might be kids out there.
Sure.
But I had played Gremio in Taming of the Shrew. Nice Italian guy, talk like this. I'll make him young, and I just have a good time. But wait a minute, I don't know anything about video games except waka, 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 waka. Beep, 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 beep. And I thought, I'll make up things about food because obviously food is my thing. And I heard action. I said, hello, I'm a Mario. Let's make a pizza pie together. And I started making up things about, we would make food, I would chase you with it, and then I'd catch you, you'd eat it, and then you'd chase me with something, I'd eat that. And we went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And he never said stop. So I never stopped until I heard, stop talking, cut, there's no more videotape. Thank you, we'll be in touch. So I had talked through the 30-minute tape. And he got on the phone, he said, I found our Mario, I got him. I went back to the beach, watched the sunset, and that was that. You know, that
Thank God you crashed that audition.
31 years ago of absolute joy. Yeah.
31 years. Congratulations. That's
Thank
incredible.
you very much. You know, it's four generations. I don't know how many generations, but people come up to me that are 50 years old and say, "I grew up with you," you know, and you know, it's just been a tremendous honor.
I'm one of those people. I played. What was the first game? It was 64.
Mario 64. I did Mario Teaches Typing and Mario Fundamentals before they were, but those weren't platform games.
Right.
And those were the ones that helped me hinge in exactly what I wanted to do with the character, make him full of love and joy and happiness and fun, and be the real essence of who I wanted to be as a human being, you know?
Right. Now, is Mario in real time something that still happens?
Yes, at the Nintendo New York store, you can go in and you talk to Mario live in real time. It's really quite amazing.
And are you behind the scenes of that?
Oh, I'm everywhere. I am everywhere.
So how does that work? Is that done remotely now?
Yeah, it's remotely done. You know, we originally had a supercomputer the size of this table.
Sure.
And we had dry ice on top of it to crunch all the numbers that were going through as my little rollerball would roll. Now it's all done through a microphone. It's you know, because if you say ooh or ah, that makes your mouth move a certain way, and that's how it translates to the character, the actual sound instead of the rollerball movement.
That's incredible.
Yeah, the Sim Graphics Engineering is the company, and they're doing all kinds of things now with remote voicing, and so that someone can look exactly like a real person or like an animation and talk to people remotely all over the world.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's amazing. It's beautiful.
I think we're running out of time here, but Charles, I want to thank you so much for taking time to talk to me, man.
Thank you for playing my games. Woohoo!
All right. So that was fun. Very nice guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool to talk to him.
He doesn't sound anything like Mario until he does the actual voice.
And he likes to do that voice.
Oh, hell yeah, he does.
I'm a number one. Yeah. So I'm happy that worked out. Even though it had to happen the way it did, I'm glad it worked out. He's somebody we've wanted to at least get a few minutes with for a long time.
We've tried to get a hold of him before, I think.
Yeah, multiple times. Well, we just sent an email out not long ago and didn't hear shit back. So if it's going through that woman, which it's probably not, but if it is, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's cut over to another interview I got with, if anyone has seen Clerks 2, he was Elias working at movies with Randall and Dante in Clerks 2, which, man, Clerks 2 has got to be, and I'm not just saying this because I got to talk to him. I talked to the guy because of this, one of my all-time favorite movies. It's just one of those, it holds a special place in my heart. It truly does. So to talk with him was really cool. And there was a problem with the audio. See, my recorder, I'm so used to the old recorder where when you hit record once, you're recording. That makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. This newer recorder, you hit record and it primes for recording.
Oh.
It starts flashing. Then you have to hit it a second time to actually start the recording.
Oh, geez.
I didn't realize that till he was about finished answering his first question I asked him. So, Randy was taking some video on iPhone, and I was able to get the audio from that, though it's not the greatest, it's better than nothing. Mm-hmm. And you'll hear a hard clip into where I remembered to hit record.
It's like you put your hand on top of the mic and then let go of it.
Kind of. Yeah. All right. So anyway, I talked with him just a little bit about Clerks 3, and I talked to him also about, you'll have to look it up online, when he was on the Tom Green live show, when Tom Green was filming that live show in his living room of his house, in the early days of the internet. Trevor was on there with Gwar. It was nuts. It's on YouTube. You can watch. So anyway, let's just cut right over to my interview with Trevor Fehrman. Here at Fan Expo Cleveland 2022 with Trevor Fehrman. You're all right, man.
This is Riz's fault that that music is on. Don't blame me.
Hey, no problem. Trevor Fehrman, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to me.
The pleasure is all mine.
So let's just get right to Clerks 3, man. What's it like revisiting Elias again, and how's that character changed since the last time we saw him?
Weird.
Right.
It's weird to not act for 15 years and then to do it again. But it was really fun. I don't know. Yeah, it was. I don't know. In the end, it was not difficult. But everybody that I work with is super nice, and the script's really funny. So it was really fun. But yes, initially a bit discombobulating.
I can imagine. Did you grow up with Clerks?
Not really. I liked it, but I didn't. I had seen it before I'd seen a bunch of Kevin's movies before I did audition for Jeff's movie. So I was in a movie that Jeff wrote and directed called Now You Know.
Yes.
And so before I was cast in that movie, I'd seen a bunch of Kevin's movies and I liked him, but I wouldn't say I grew up with them. No.
Okay. All right. When it comes to filming Clerks 2 versus Clerks 3, any major differences, or was it just like slipping back in with the family?
Yes and no. So definitely very much like slipping back in with the family, in that the rapport was still the same with everybody. Everybody was still nice. It's still the same funny jokes and everything like that. But Clerks 2 was, we were hanging out. It was like, there were a lot of parties because we had I don't know if you've read this or heard this anywhere else, but we were shooting that out of an abandoned Burger King.
Right, and then we were in the hotel right next door.
Yeah, and so we would like hang out and kind of play poker and drink beer, and then like we'd crash in the motel often and then just wake up because you get up really early to do movies and stuff. Right. We'd wake up and just sort of do it again, and that was my memory of that. So that was really fun. Of course, fast forward to Clerks 3, and we've got COVID policies, right? So
that's true.
We're not like going out to parties and stuff. It was just like a different scene.
Sure.
But it was cool because we were in Red Bank. So we shot Clerks 2 in like Anaheim in California. And this time we shot Clerks 3 the whole time in Red Bank.
Oh, wow.
And so we go out to, it was different. It was good, but it was just good in a different way. Because hanging out with Jeff and Brian, like going to get dinner with them after shooting in Red Bank, it's kind of like going to get dinner with like Jerry Lewis and Frank Sinatra.
Everybody knows them.
Like everybody knows
Right.
you. Like people send you over free drinks, and it's just like, it's really funny. So so that was a cool experience.
That's cool. I cannot wait to see it, man. But there's one more thing I have to ask you about, kind of off the wall. You were on Tom Green Live. You were on there. It was you and Guar as the guest, and it just looked off the wall crazy. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was insane.
It was insane.
That was one of the crazier things I've ever done in my life because it was a brand new show at the time. Like it was like episode 3 or some shit. I can't remember. It was early. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but it was early. And they still had not worked out like any of the technical kinks at all.
The phones were a big thing.
Yeah, and nobody was screening the calls, and so there were just these trolls coming through that were like, hey, heard you only have one testicle, and he's like, Tom Green. Yeah. You can never tell when Tom Green is actually upset or when he's sort of feigning upset or like
just doing it for the show.
Yeah, like kind of upping it for the theatrical value of it, or maybe it's both. I hope it's both, kind of, because
he seemed irritated that.
Yeah,
time.
no, he was definitely not entirely faking it.
Sure.
But then we were drinking wine, as I recall, and then there's just Guar behind me.
Just over your shoulder.
Yeah, it's so great. And so I just, at some point I just had to be like, well, in for penny, in for pound, horse mask.
Yeah, then pig mask, then big fro wig.
Yeah, you just had to guide. It was so crazy. I just had to go with it. I actually thought it was really fun.
It was a hell of a lot of fun to watch. You just didn't know what was going to happen next.
Yeah, it was chaos. But that I would way rather do that than like
something like this.
No, not at all. No, this is totally cool. No, I was going to mention another thing I did, but I think that would be impolite, so I won't.
No, please do.
No.
Come on.
No.
That's all the questions I got for you.
Cool.
It's nice to meet you, man. Look forward to seeing the movie. All right, so I think that's going to do it for the audio interviews. Is there anything else you guys wanted to touch on from the con?
We didn't get to go to the Clerks panel because it was at like 6 o'clock or 7 on Saturday.
It was 7:30, I think.
Yeah, it was really late. That's
another thing. These maps, okay, the maps for the con floor layout. These maps were just useless because, okay, I've got this unfolded looking at it here, and there's a whole list of all the exhibitors and guests, and next to their name is a number. And typically on these maps, you find the name of the person you want to see, check their number, and then you get on the map and find where that table is on the map, leads you right there. Tell me what point it matters, what point it is to have all these names and numbers next to the names, and then have a map that doesn't have a single number on it.
No, it's just color-coded. This is where these are.
There is no point in any of it being there.
No.
At all.
So for the listeners that are just checking this out, audio only, if you're ever at a mall and you see like the store listing signs, just imagine all the stores listed out and just the map to go with that is just a solid block that says mall.
Yeah.
It's in the mall. Number 14 is Dairy Queen.
That's
located in number 3, food.
That's very accurate. Like if it was a map of the mall without any of the stores sanctioned off, just one big block. So that was kind of frustrating. But anyway, anything else we wanted to say about the con, guys?
No, it was a good weekend.
It was a great.
It was nice to go.
It was a lot of fun
for 2 days to Cleveland because we've never done that before.
No, we've been up there several times, but not stayed overnight for the 2-day experience.
Yep.
And we got to do a lot of cool other things too. We got to go to Evergreen, check
that
them
was
out.
definitely cool. It was very, very fun to go see them and visit.
Yeah, Evergreen being the network we're very proud to be a part of. This is the first time their headquarters are in Cleveland. And we decided to, before the con started, go hang out with them, check out their facilities, and kind of just brainstorm, strategize for the show, get some merch, get some lunch. Just had a great time. So if they're ever hearing this, big thank you to them.
Absolutely.
I doubt that they are, though. But and then on the way home, we got to we stopped at a place called Sweets and Geeks.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And which is pretty much a toy and candy store. And it seemed like the biggest bang for your buck going there. I mean, where they're making their money is candy.
Definitely.
Oh, for sure.
They did have toys, but it's not the same kind of toy store that typically we like going to. We like going to like retro toy, vintage toys, looking through stuff people have owned, stuff that's worn. This was all very much new, kind of trinkety kind of stuff.
A lot of tabletop games, D&D models.
Then there was like a whole section that was like, D&D, Warhammer,
a whole
shit like
wall
that.
of Magic and Pokemon.
Yeah. And they had all kinds of like great big, like there was a life-size, all the Simpsons sitting on their couch there, life-size E.T., there was Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Robin, a Stormtrooper, I think there was a Betty Boop. There's all kinds of different characters. It was a very cool place, but just not so much for me. It was cool to see on the way home. I'm glad, that wasn't like a special day trip where I'm like, what the fuck?
We're going to drive 2 hours to go to this candy store.
What have we done? But so that was cool. And then on the way home, this is going to seem like nothing to most people, but one thing that we miss very much is Hardee's restaurants.
Then we go to Canned Air road shows or road trips. We usually take a stop at a Hardee's Carl's Jr.
Right. It's typically attached to like a Love's gas station, though. And because we went to this Sweets and Geeks, we were coming back some back road, trying to get back to the interstate, and came across a lone Hardee's. It was like it had been dumped in the country, like somebody dumping a dog. Like, all right, you're free to go play, because it was really just next to nothing.
It was like Clark Griswold finding that tree.
Yeah, it was like really I was telling you guys, it was like a mirage. Like, out in the middle of like God's country, there's just a Hardee's like sitting there. Like it's like it was meant to be. But so we had some Hardee's and then came home. But yeah, overall, just a one hell of a fun weekend. I had to muster up more energy than I'm capable of mustering up typically, but took a few days to recover.
Sunday and most of today was recovery.
Yeah,
I think I'm finally back.
The feet were hurting for days after that, and just trying to catch up on sleep. But I think that's going to do it. Head over to Fan Expo HQ to check out more on Fan Expo and where future shows are going to be. And we're going to have a video of this episode on YouTube if you guys want to check that out. So I think that's going to do it for this episode, unless you guys have anything else. Well, Jack, what do we have on the website?
Go to cannedairpodcast.com, where you can listen, follow, subscribe, buy some merch, become a patron, see some YouTube videos, like the video of this podcast with images and whatnots. And if you'd like to be a guest and promote your work, send us an email on our contacts page.
And don't forget to find us on Twitter at CannedAirPod and on Instagram at canned_air. A lot of the pictures that go with this episode are on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, so you can see what we're talking about if you're not watching the video. And don't forget to go, like Jack was saying, at cannedairpodcast.com. Don't forget to check out the website, but also don't forget to click on that merch link or on the Patreon link if you want to show your support and get something in return for said support. And if you don't have the money to support us that way, just head to your podcast player of choice, leave us a review, leave us a 5-star review, preferably, but whatever you feel is fair, because that definitely goes a long way into helping us get more exposure. It's not just helping us feel good about ourselves. any given network or player or whatever that you have a lot of good reviews on, or just I think a lot of reviews, period, you'll get extra exposure. So yeah, that helps too. And Randy.
Evergreenpodcast.com. Check us out. Check all the other shows out.
Exactly. I think that's going to do it. So until next time, I am Jeremy Colley.
I'm Jack Doherty.
And I'm Randy Hardenbrook.
Be excellent to each other.